Napoleon was not even gone for Egypt when the Directory decided to use the moment to tamper with his achievements in Italy. I mean, further expand the influence and grow the glory of the French Republic in Italy. As in, it was a useful distraction from internal squabbles. Through 1798, the French army stormed into Italy, creating even more sister republics along the way. General Brun invaded Switzerland and created the Helvetic Republic. General Joubert ousted the King of Piedmont and seized the Piedmontese Republic for France. General Berryer entered Rome and declared the Roman Republic and arrested the Pope. This was followed up by a Neapolitan counter-liberation of Rome in 1798 and then a subsequent French liberation of Naples in 1799, when the Parthenopean Republic was declared. Now all this military activity right on his doorstep was not making your friendly neighborhood Kaiser Franz very happy. It also didn't make him happy that a lot of his friends and relatives were being dethroned. Kaiser Franz II and the British government started to prod Tsar Paul I of Russia, who was already being prodded by the French royal family, to join the Second Anti-French Coalition. Tsar Paul was considering joining the war. Then news arrived that Napoleon had kicked the Knights Hospitalier out of Malta. Paul, already an honorary protector and member of the order, took it personally and decided to commit Russia to a war against France. For this the Hospitaliers in his realm elected him the new Grand Master of the Order, while the old Grand Master had not yet abdicated. This created quite a few problems, but that's a story for another day. After months of preparations in 1799, the Grand Campaign against the French Republic began with combined Austrian, Russian and British attacks on 3 fronts. The armies under the Austrian Archduke Karl pushed the French back in southern Germany. General Surovov, commanding the coalition armies in Italy, pushed the French all the way back to Genoa, and the Anglo-Russian armies under Prince Frederick the Duke of York invaded the Netherlands. And to add to this misery, France was engaged in a naval quasi-war against the United States. By mid-1799, it looked like the Republic might collapse. Again, the elections of 1799 did not turn out a friendly legislature for the directors, and it was becoming clear to everyone that the regime will not hold. It was becoming clear to everyone because everyone was plotting the regime's downfall. It was just a question of who, when, where and how, and nobody had any specific ideas on that yet. In May and June, 4 new directors were appointed and lines were being drawn. The legendary survivor of the revolution, Abbé Emmanuel Sieyès and Roger Ducos, were elected as moderates, while Joseph Moulin and Louis Gauffier were elected by Jacobins. The corrupt intriguer Paul Barras, always looking out for number 1, somehow managed to remain in power since the beginning of the Directory. There were rumors floating about that he might be in cahoots with royalist agents. It is very possible that he was weighing out all his options. For this story, Abbé Sieyès was going to be the man with the plan, or at least an idea of a plan. Even though he participated in the creation of the Directory, he did not agree with its political theories. But now he hoped to use the position of director to create a new regime. No doubt Moulin and Gauffier were thinking a similar thing. Meetings of politicians and generals were being held throughout 1799, hatching and plotting plans on how to cut this misery of a regime short. The 2 Bonaparte brothers were in on the plotting too, Joseph in the diplomatic service and Lucien presiding over the Council of 500, were looking for ways to get ahead, keeping close contact with Sieyès and others. Meanwhile, in Egypt, Napoleon was not having a happy time, to say the least. The campaign, for all its successes, had stalemated and the situation was only getting worse. It didn't help that the British captain Sidney Smith was sending Napoleon newspapers about the French military collapse. If France fell at home, it would have been the end of Napoleon's campaign in Egypt anyway. In August 1799, Napoleon decided that France needed him more, and he set off with a group of select officers on a 2-month-long journey back to France.